Hi everybody. If we want to understand why is Central Bank of Russia printing money, we must take a look into Russian exports of fossil fuels, especially to India. The reason for printing money is hiding in Putin's brilliant idea of de-dollarization. He is so proud to take payments for oil and gas exports in national currencies. His propaganda talking point in promoting BRICS, new multipolar world and global south only led Russian economy to accumulate rupees in India with which can do nothing, can't pay the workers in Russia, taxes in Russia or suppliers in Russia. Let's look at the data of exports of fossil fuels. Exports of fossil fuels include crude oil, petroleum products, natural gas and electricity. In 2022, value of Russian exports of fossil fuels was $386,383 million. Turkey imported $41,801 million. China imported $85,378 million. India imported $33,973 million. And the rest of the world imported $225,231 million. In 2023, value of Russian exports of fossil fuels was $261,576 million. Turkey imported $40,095 million. China imported $94,045 million. India imported $53,433 million, and the rest of the world imported $84,040 million. In 2024, value of Russian exports of fossil fuels was $255,092 million. Turkey imported $32,231 million. China imported $94,823 million. India imported $57,173 million, and the rest of the world imported $70,865 million. We can clearly see that Turkey retains same level of fossil fuel imports from Russia, while China and India considerably raised imported volumes. In 2022, the price of crude oil was extremely high, and because of that, it seems that Turkey decreased imports from Russia, but that is only because price was higher for the same volumes of imports. These three countries, India, China and Turkey, made 44% of Russian exports of fossil fuels in 2022, 68% in 2023 and 72% in 2024. Russian problem with Indian imports is very different from Chinese one. Yuan is currency of choice for Russian people and companies. They save in yuan and they also import Chinese cars and consumer goods. But things are very different with India. Trade volumes between the two countries has surged dramatically from around $13 billion in 2021 to $68 billion in 2024. India is now among Russia's top three trading partners, and more importantly, India and Russia now conduct over 90% of their bilateral trade using their national currencies, the ruble and the rupee, not the dollar, world accepted currency. Because of that, Russia is now having issues with trading in the rupee because there is more Indian demand for Russian goods than the other way around. Meaning, Russia has been saddled up with $1 billion worth of rupees each month that are stuck in Indian banks. That adds up to $147 billion in Russia's net foreign assets built up from 2022 per Bloomberg estimation based on Bank of Russia data. Because of that, India and Russia are now trying to work out how Russia can use its mounting rupee stash. Options include getting Russian entities to invest in India's capital markets. Another option under discussion is having Russia channel the rupees into Indian infrastructure projects in exchange for equity stakes. Russian financial institutions negotiate with Reserve Bank of India on a mechanism to let them use rupees laying in a special account in India for investment in stocks and securities in India. If a Reserve Bank of India approval comes through, the fund could invest in securities listed on Indian exchanges and transfer equivalent amounts in ruble to Russian companies that have exported to India but have accepted payments in rupees. Because of that, Russian bank VTB is planning to expand business in India and begin operations with retail clients. The bank opened a new office in New Delhi and also plans to open an office in Mumbai. Russia's largest bank, Sberbank, has already opened rupee accounts, issued rupee-denominated loans, and expanded its network into India. According to Sberbank, up to 70% of Russian exports to India are now settled in rupees. Russia is expanding its banking presence in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bengaluru as part of its commitment to financial integration. The Central Bank of Russia has also opened a representative office in Mumbai, India. And that is a Russian desperate move. They print new rubles in Central Bank of Russia branch in India and give them to VTB and Sberbank branches in India in form of loans. Then banks exchange, or better say buy rupees from Russian exporters for investment in Indian economy. The first one in these circumstances. Then, Russian oil and gas exporters can get their cash liquidity in rubles to pay the wages for Russian workers and to pay the Russian suppliers. And that is officially called foreign exchange in fancy PDF reports. But in the real world, Russia can't use export money in rupees. Rupees are not world accepted currency and they only can use it inside India. Modi is the master economist. Just look at the capital account on balance of payment in India for 2025. India will be the country with biggest foreign investment in the world for 2025. And of course, because Central Bank of Russia is forced to print more money, this money supply is going to affect inflation in Russia. The only way to avoid inflation is for Russian Central Bank to sterilize the ruble supply. But then the non-payment epidemic is almost certain, starting with wages and credit loans repayments and spreading to whole economy, to companies and farmers.